students, welcome to Daily Chronicles by Abhayam IAS Academy. So, ee roju Daily Chronicles lo, let's learn quickly the most important topics from various newspapers, that is Hindu, Indian Express and also PIB and other government sites. So today the topics are Article 370, as today it is marking 6 years of abrogation of your Article 370. Next is Sarnath. Next is Global Plastics Treaty. Fourth one is biofortification and fifth one is Asian Giant Tortoise. So వీటి గురించి let's learn detailedly. Now first is Article 370 as ఇది ఎందుకు న్యూస్ లో ఉంది? As today, that is August 5th is marking August 5th 2025. So repealing of Article 370 ఎప్పుడు జరిగింది? 2019 లో. Now today it is marking 6 years of abrogation of Article 370. మరి Article 370 ఏంటి? ఎందుకు రిపీల్ చేయాల్సి వచ్చింది? Let's see. So my government Instagram site లో they have been given 6 years of Article 370 abrogation in Jammu and Kashmir. So the many first అని ఇచ్చారు. Going to, ఇది చూసే కంటే ముందు అసలు Article 370 అంటే ఏంటో చూద్దాం. వాట్ ఇస్ ఆర్టికల్ 370? ఆర్టికల్ 370 ఏంటి అంటే, ఇంతకు ముందు జమ్మూ అండ్ కాశ్మీర్ కి సపరేట్ ఫ్లాగ్ ఉండేది, సపరేట్ కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్ ఉండేది అండ్ సపరేట్ సిటిజన్షిప్ ఉండేది. లైక్ ఇంచుమించు డ్యూయల్ సిటిజన్షిప్ లాగా, బికాస్ దే ఆర్ హ్యావింగ్ డిఫరెంట్ కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్ అండ్ డిఫరెంట్ నేషనల్ ఫ్లాగ్. So Article 370 of the Indian Constitution granted the special status to your Jammu and Kashmir. దీన్ని ఎవరు డ్రాఫ్ట్ చేశారు, ఎప్పుడు డ్రాఫ్ట్ చేశారు అంటే, ఇట్ వాస్ డ్రాఫ్టెడ్ బై ఎన్ గోపాల్ స్వామి అయ్యంగర్. ఎన్ గోపాల్ స్వామి అయ్యంగర్ ఎవరు? హీ వాస్ ది ప్రామినెంట్ మెంబర్ ఆఫ్ కాన్స్టిట్యూయెంట్ అసెంబ్లీ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా. మరి ఇది ఇప్పుడు ఎప్పుడు ఇచ్చారు? దిస్ వాజ్ యాడెడ్ యాజ్ ఎ టెంపరరీ సొల్యూషన్ or temporary provision in your year 1949. That is before your republic. 1950 kada republic. So before 1950, that is before your republic itself, this special provision has been granted to the Jammu and Kashmir in the year 1949. Now, what is this article allowing? This article is allowing to have Jammu and Kashmir its own constitution, its own flag, and also autonomy over most of the list, 7 schedule lo unna list lo chala topics varaku it will be controlled by Jammu and Kashmir, except defense, foreign affairs and communication. Except these three, the all other matters are autonomy with respect to the Jammu and Kashmir itself. So Article 360 gave the right to Jammu Kashmir to have its own constitution, to have its own flag and also autonomy over most of the matters except defense, communications and also foreign affairs. Clear? This is what is your Article 370. Now, today we are marking the abrogation or repeal of this 370. Clear? 370 ni రాజ్యాంగబద్ధమని కొట్టేయబడింది. Clear? So, this provision was based on the terms of instruments of accession which was signed by the ruler of then Jammu and Kashmir, that is Hari Singh, in the year 1947 following an invasion by Pakistan. Clear? Now, next. So, repeal of Article 370. In the year 2019 you take, ఇంతకు ముందు వరకు Jammu and Kashmir was there under the president rule. సో ఈ ఇయర్ లో 2019 లో ప్రెసిడెంట్ రూల్ అనేది పోయింది. ప్రెసిడెంట్ రూల్ పోయి వీ హ్యావ్ టు ఎస్టాబ్లిష్ లెజిస్లేటివ్ అసెంబ్లీ ఆఫ్ జమ్మూ అండ్ కాశ్మీర్ అని నిర్ణయించబడింది. సో బై ఇన్వోకింగ్ ద ప్రెసిడెంట్ రూల్, పార్లమెంట్ దెన్ అస్యూమ్డ్ ద పవర్స్ ఆఫ్ లెజిస్లేటివ్ అసెంబ్లీ టు రివోక్ ది ఆర్టికల్ 370. ఫర్దర్ ఎలా రిమూవ్ చేశాము? బై పాసింగ్ ది యాక్ట్ ఆఫ్ Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act of 2019. So 2019 లో Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act తీసుకురావడం జరిగింది. So it was passed by Parliament in 2019 to bifurcate the state of Jammu and Kashmir into 2 union territories. One is Jammu and Kashmir, and other is Ladakh. So Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act 2019 prakaram, Jammu and Kashmir ni we have been bifurcated into two regions. One is Jammu and Kashmir and other is Ladakh. So repeal of Article 370, Presidential Order. In 2019, Presidential Orders, Parliament redefined the Constituent Assembly of Jammu and Kashmir to mean the Legislative Assembly of Jammu and Kashmir. అప్పటి వరకు ప్రెసిడెంట్ రూల్ లో ఉన్న జమ్మూ అండ్ కశ్మీర్ కి నో స్టాప్ దిస్ ప్రెసిడెన్షియల్ రూల్, నౌ వీ విల్ ఇంప్లిమెంట్ అసెంబ్లీ అని చెప్పేసి ఫ్రమ్ దెన్ లెజిస్లేటివ్ అసెంబ్లీ హ్యాస్ బిన్ స్టార్టెడ్. క్లియర్? వేర్ యూ కెన్ ఎలెక్ట్ ది CM ఫర్ యర్ జమ్మూ అండ్ కశ్మీర్. క్లియర్? ఫర్ ద ఫస్ట్ టైం ఎలక్షన్స్ హ్యావ్ బీన్ స్టార్టెడ్. అంటే ఇండియా పార్ట్ లో ఎలక్షన్ అనేది స్టార్ట్ అయింది ఫర్ ద ఫస్ట్ టైం. Clear? Until then, they used to have their own things. Constitution, flag and autonomy towards all other matters except defense, foreign affairs and your communications. Now, my government Instagram site have been given. From then, what are the first things happen? So, from then, there was a rail establishment, that is Kashmir to Kanyakumari in our reality. ఏదో సాంగ్ లో కాకుండా కశ్మీర్ టు కన్యాకుమారి అన్ని సాంగ్స్ లో వింటూ ఉంటాం, ఆర్ అది మనం లైక్ అనలాగ్ గా యూజ్ చేస్తాము. బట్ నౌ దిస్ హ్యాస్ బీన్ బికమ్ రియల్ బై కనెక్టింగ్ ఎ కశ్మీర్ టు కన్యాకుమారి. సో ఉధాంపూర్ శ్రీనగర్ బారాముల్లా రైల్వే లింక్. This project is connecting Kashmir to rest of India by the rail for the first time. And further, first Vande Bharat reaches the valley via the world's highest rail arc over the Chenab Bridge. Chenab paina rail arc we have been established. So the railways connecting from Kashmir to Kanyakumari have become easy. This is the first time. That is Udhampur Srinagar Baramulla railway link. And next vachesi a melting pot of harmony and secularism where Diwali was celebrated after 75 years in Sharda temple. Tarvata Muharram was celebrated after 34 years in Srinagar. Jammu capital is Srinagar. Tarvata where the world was welcomed, almost 2.35 crores of tourism was established. So 2.35 visitors have been visited Jammu and Kashmir. And Tarvata, okay, this has been repeated. And Tarvata, a new playground in Himalayas, that is first ever Khelo India Winter Games were held in Gulmarg. First ever Winter Games, Khelo India Winter Games were held in Gulmarg, Jammu and Kashmir region. So Kashmir also hosted its first Formula 4 car race on March 17, 2024 last year. And further, a salute overdue, that is for the first time in 35 years, the national tricolor flag, that is our Indian flag, have been unfurled in Tral, Pulwama. And further, okay, patriotic songs mark the celebration of 76th Republic Day on January 26, 2025. Clear? These are the things happened now. So railway bridge anedi Kashmir to Kanyakumari established anindi. Almost 2.35 crores of people visited Jammu and Kashmir tourism spot. Then also not only this, first ever Khelo India Winter Games were held in Gulmarg. Clear? So this is Article 370 which have been repealed, and today it is marking 6 years of abrogation of Article 370. Clear? Now next article, Sarnath. Sarnath ఎందుకు న్యూస్ లో ఉంది అంటే Sarnath's India nomination to UNESCO. So India has submitted dossier titled Ancient Buddhist Site Sarnath to the UNESCO World Heritage Center for nomination cycle. So UNESCO list లో ఇంక్లూడ్ చేయాలని సారనాథ్ నేమ్ ని సజెస్ట్ చేశారు. మరి సారనాథ్, like let's see the characteristic and historical significance of Sarnath. So okay, where it is located? It is located in Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh. Where it is lying on the rivers of Ganga and also Varuna. If you take the Buddhist sites importance, 4 sites are importance. Kuchinara, the death place of Buddha. Lumbini. And further, one more important thing is Sarnath, because after the enlightenment, Buddha has given his first sermon in your Sarnath. First sermon is given in the Sarnath. So it is a site where Buddha gave his first sermon after the enlightenment. What that is called? It is called Dharmachakra Parivartana. Dharmachakra Parivartana. That is great turning of great wheel of law was delivered here. And further, it is also known as Ishipatana in your ancient text. And also, it is also related to the Jainism also. It is also related to the Jainism, where the 11th Tirthankara, that is Shrayasanatha, 11th Tirthankara Shrayasanatha was born in Sarnath and Cheppesi. So Jainism ki kuda this is relevant. Now further, Sarnath is important for two things. One is like enlightenment, first after enlightenment Buddha gave his first ceremony in your Sarnath. Second thing enti ante Ashokan stupas or Ashokan pillars. So after fighting the Kalinga war, Ashoka has established his pillars at the Sarnath. So Ashoka built many beautiful stupas and monasteries in Sarnath. Further, Alexander Cunningham, who was the first Director General of ASI, that is your Archaeological Survey of India Director, first Director, he have been excavated the Dhamek, Dharmapalika and also Chaukandi stupas along with the monasteries and temple in year 1834 and 1836 at your Sarnath. So what did he find? Dharmek stupa, Dharmalika stupa and Chaukandi stupa here. And further, man emblem undi kada? India's emblem is taken from your Ashokan pillars. So state emblem of India is an adaptation from your Sarnath lion capital of your Ashoka. This one, our state emblem, where here you can see the 4 lions standing, and also apart from this, you can see elephant, galloping horse, a bull and lion separated by intervening wheels. This one. So ikkada the animals are present. Elephant is present, bull is present, horse, lions. And the speciality entante, it is carved out of a single block of polished sandstone. And further, the capital is crowned by the wheel of the law. That is Dharmachakra Parivartana symbolic. And further, this wheel appears in relief in the center of the abacus. This one, center of the abacus, this wheel. And sometimes you can see the same wheel backside of your Buddha's faces also. Clear? That is enlightening Buddha. And bell-shaped lotus is omitted. And Tarvata, Satyameva Jayate. Satyameva Jayate, that is truth alone trims, which is taken from the Mundaka Upanishads, and it is given in Devanagari script. Okay, see, this is inverted lotus. You can see the inverted lotus. Clear? So Satyameva Jayate and Rasuntundi, which is Satyameva Jayate is taken from Mundaka Upanishads. It is written in Devanagari script. Clear? And Sarnath, now we want to include in the UNESCO site also. Done? So both, it is related to both Buddhism, mostly Buddhism, but they also tell the 11th Tirthankara was born here. Is this clear about the Sarnath? Now, next is Global Plastics Treaty. Now, why this is in news? Because Geneva lo, the international organizations have been meted. Talks are going on Global Plastics Treaty. We want to resume this. So, what is Global Plastic Treaty? This is a legally binding international agreement under UNEP, United Nations Environment Program, UNEP. What is the objective? Ultimate objective is to end the plastic pollution. Is it possible? No, it is not possible at all. But, mana pichi ante. Instead of ending, reduce unte baundedi. Kani aim to end plastic pollution, which is highly impossible nowadays at least. Including in marine environments by 2040. Is it really achievable goal? Let's see. Let's wait and see. So first mandated by UNEA 5.2. ఇదంతా గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు, but it was taken up in Nairobi first. And this global plastic treaty is officially called as International Legally Binding Instrument on Plastic Pollution, including in your marine environment also. Marine environment also. Aquatic environment, marine environment. So the official name is International Legally Binding Instrument on your plastic pollution. Now, who is the world's largest emitter of plastic pollution? Of course, obviously India. Sorry, first objectives చూద్దాం, తర్వాత ఇండియా అండ్ ప్లాస్టిక్స్ చూద్దాము. What is the objectives of Global Plastics Treaty? One is, it is addressing the chemical additives. Harmful chemical additives ni ఏమంటారు, it is bringing up into the limelight, and further it is reducing plastic production, to reduce the plastic production, and next is promoting the circular economy, that is encouraging reuse and recycling. Further, to stop the single use plastic వాడకాన్ని తగ్గించడం, to stop completely. So the objectives are, first thing is reduce the plastic production, second thing is circular economy, that is reusing, ఎంత possible అయితే అంత reuse, reduce and recycle. Then further is single use plastics ni stop cheyadam, and next is address the chemical additives, that is to manage the harmful substances in the plastics. Now, what are plastics? Plastics ante enti? Plastics are polymers which are made up of many subunits of your monomers. Polytetraethylene, ethylene nunchi వచ్చే components, polytetraethylene, that is taking the monomer ethylene ni తీసుకొని you're converting many subunits, you're mixing up. If you know, our plastic bottles, they will be like దాని raw material ఏంటి అంటే ఒక small sized of capsule లాగా. That capsule we are mixing up and we are blowing it up and we are turning into the plastics. మనం నార్మల్ గా వాడే వాటర్ బాటిల్స్ డైరెక్ట్లీ అంత పెద్దగా రావు, చిన్న క్యాప్సూల్ సైజ్ లో ఉంటవి. Like how you take your medicines, అంత చిన్న capsule size లో ఉంటాయి. What we are doing, we are blowing it up and we are making it big. So your plastics are nothing but they are polymers. The polymers made up of repeating units called monomers. Now this polymer is a large molecule formed by chemically linking many smaller monomers together. See the plastic pollution? Can you see the plastics all together dumped? See, the problem is, in India at least, almost 9.3 million tons of plastic waste is generated. Kani, 9.3 lo, just 3.5 million tons is recycled. Now, where this approximately 5 million tons is going off? Alane endipotundi. It is causing the pollution. Soil pollution, air pollution. These harmful chemicals are released into the air. What not? Everything with plastics. మళ్ళీ డే టు డే వాడకంలో ప్లాస్టిక్స్ అనేది కంపల్సరీ. So India is generating approximately 9.3 million tons of plastic waste, but only 3.5 million tons is mismanaged and released into the environment due to poor collection and disposal. Further, urbanization, increasing of rapid urbanization, migrating from your rural backgrounds to the urban areas, your urbanization and e-commerce industry. These two are the biggest plastic producers or plastic emitters in your India. And also waste management. There is no proper waste management in India. And today Hindu has given about the solid waste management also. It's a good article, at least ఒకసారి చదవండి. It has been given with respect to solid waste management. We are not able to manage the solid waste. So waste infrastructure is underdeveloped. That is, there are more dump sites rather than the sanitary landfills. Everything we are dumping at one place. Dani wala diseases. The site is becoming spoiled, soil pollution, A soil pollution వల్ల water pollution, those harmful gases are emitting in the water also. The same water we are drinking up. Soil pollution, air pollution, water pollution with respect to plastic pollution ultimately. Global warming, climate change. Ante kada. So open burning is common. Now these gases are released into your air, releasing toxic pollutant, worsening air quality and public health. So this is about your plastics. Mari దీని కంట్రోల్ చేయడానికి they are coming up with global plastic treaty. Now these talks are going in Geneva. Yes, India will also participate. Now the next article is biofortified potatoes. Now why this is in news? This is in news because the Director General of International Potato Center at Peru has been giving us the biofortified potatoes. These are currently under evaluation by our ICAR for Indian conditions. That is, we are introducing it as Shimla. And ఇది పెరూ నుంచి వస్తుంది కదా, మరి మన కండిషన్స్, మన లైక్ సాయిల్ కి తగ్గట్టు, మన వెదర్ కి తగ్గట్టు విల్ దే గ్రో ఇన్ ఇండియా ఆర్ నాట్ అన్న టెస్ట్ జరుగుతుంది. క్లియర్? సో biofortified potatoes enriched with iron are set to be introduced in Indian markets as announced by the Director General of International Potatoes Center, Peru. And now currently it is going under evaluation for our Indian weather conditions. ఇప్పుడు biofortification అంటే ఏంటి? Biofortification, that is introducing the minerals into the some of our objects, like eating objects. But దీని తినడం వల్ల ఏమవుతుంది? The necessary minerals and vitamins are coming to us. So simply biofortification ఏంటి అంటే the process of breeding of your crops either naturally, artificially with high levels of essential nutrients. Biofortified rice, vitamin A sweet potatoes. Clear? When we are inducing it, what is happening is we are directly getting, ఇప్పుడు పొటాటో ఎందుకు టేస్ట్ కార్బోహైడ్రేట్స్, కానీ ఇప్పుడు దీన్ని తినడం వల్ల ఏమవుతుంది? అవర్ ఐరన్ కంటెంట్ ఆల్సో విల్ ఇంక్రీస్. As you know, India is suffering, mostly Indian women are suffering from the malnourishment and also anemia. So this will help to reduce the anemia. So unlike processed food, fortification, it improves the nutrition at the crop level itself. Example, a golden rice which is having vitamin A and iron rich millets and zinc fortified wheat. These are examples of biofortified substances, and even on milk packets also you can see biofortified milk అని వస్తుంది ఇప్పుడు. That is introducing your vitamin A, vitamin D into your milk products. Biofortified milk అని కూడా వస్తుంది ఇప్పుడు. So what are the positives? Positives are it is cost effective, high performing, very much of nutritional security, and it is also suitable for weak infrastructure cases also. Takku infrastructure unna sare you can produce them. And further, what are the negatives? Climate testing chestunnam kada, so climate adaptability, low awareness among the people, market incentives, and further less investment in biofortification R&D, and integration challenges also. Now, the last article is Asian tortoise. Now, why this is in news? This is in news because the largest Asian tortoise back in Nagaland Community Reserve. See, these type of species are very important. These type of articles, when you see in the news, just make a note. Every day, make a note of current affairs, and ilantivi unnappudu this is more important. So, species in news. Aim species, that is Asian tortoise. See here clearly the critically endangered Asian giant tortoise, which is the largest in the Asia, have been reintroduced to the Zelang Community Reserve in your Nagaland. Mari inta manchiga article vachinappudu at least we should know about the tortoise, we should know about that species. Chalo, let's know. So Asian giant tortoise, which is also known as Manuria amphisphaeria, you can see the spelling, Manoria emphis firae, which is the largest tortoise in Asia. And further, it is also considered to be oldest tortoise also. So it is considered to be one of the oldest tortoise lineages in the world. ఎక్కడెక్కడ ఉంటుంది ఇది అంటే it can be found in tropical and subtropical hilly forest and they're distributed in India, Bangladesh, some parts of China, Indonesia and Malaysia. ఏం తింటాయి అంటే almost they depend on vegetarian, bamboo shoots, tubers and other juicy vegetation and some little invertebrates and also frogs. Conservation status is very much important. IUCN critically endangered and sites ఏమో appendix 2 లో మెన్షన్ చేశారు. Clear? So Asian giant tortoise, where it is located, India, Bangladesh, almost Asian side, Indonesia and Malaysia regions. Diet vegetarian and non-vegetarian, omnivorous you can consider. And conservation status ఏంటి అంటే critically endangered and sites లో ఏమో appendix 2. So this one, giant Indian tortoise. Giant Indian tortoise. Clear? Habitat, mountainous green forest, where you can see India, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Thailand. So the population is decreasing now. Now this we have been reintroduced in our Nagaland. So these are the important articles which I found apart from the editorials. Editorials, editorials, question and answer laga, we are updating in our Telegram. So please visit Abhiram IAS Academy Telegram channel. Please subscribe to it. Please join in that. Andalo Telegram channel lo we are providing editorials, question based answers, and this is the news analysis for today. Thank you. Have a good day.